What a blessing. We are coming to the end of October. Today is an exciting topic for me because as we go through October, we've been talking about so many things that we want to see take place as we keep stepping up to the next stage in our journey. And so, wealth creation, mindset, and leadership. If it's your first time here, guys, can you just put a 111 in so we can just do a welcome and say hi? I think there might be one or two who are new. If you are someone who's can see that someone isn't here today, please say hi to them. Dashi, good to see you on, my dear. MOM, you're not a 111. I don't know if anyone's new here for the first time. Jack, good to see you on. Welcome. We'll thank you for being on from Sydney. Amazing. So Jack, I don't know if you can unmute for a moment and tell me how you heard about today. If you're able to unmute, that's great. If you can't, you can just type it in. Marciana, good to have you on. Herbie Beauty, I love that. New businesses happening, existing businesses going to the next stage. What a blessing. Awesome. So Jackie, feel free to type in the chat group if you want just how you got to know about today. And welcome to everyone on. Good to see some of our guys who are already been on. Guys, as I said, quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial expert, so whatever we're teaching here in wealth creation is not financial advice. So please get financial advice, legal advice if you need to. We're going to cover the power of failure today. This is an important topic, and I got really excited putting these slides together and putting today's talk together, because I tell you what, the power of failure is a very powerful tool when we understand it in a positive light, not a negative light. Awesome. Good to see Gain. I hope I pronounced it right. Lucia, unmute and let me know. Jack, good to see you. Welcome, guys. So, power of failure. Why is that important? Let me just go skip this one. We've done this. Well, through as Emmanuel put it rightly, we've talked about the power of thought. We've talked about the power of imagination. We've talked about the power of words. And if you missed any of this, then please go to our YouTube channel and you can find all that information. Maybe Emmanuel or Hyacinth or one of the others can copy paste the YouTube channel on here. So if anyone's not aware of the channel, then they can click on it and subscribe to it as well. And so today the power of failure is in that vein of our thoughts, of our mind, because we will only be successful to the level of our mind and our thoughts. Okay, and that's really important. So failure isn't the opposite of success. This is really important for you guys to know, and it's part of the path to achieving it. The key is to view failures as learning experiences, not as a permanent roadblock. Embracing failure with a growth mindset can turn setbacks into stepping stones on the way to greatness. So if you guys agree with this, hope you got your pen and paper out. We're going to have a look at 6 important aspects of the power of failure and how it helps us, and how it is in fact required and necessary in success. Okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. So Authentic Wealth Creation is the YouTube site for anyone who needs to go there and just subscribe to it. So the videos are put up there, the recording, so that's for your benefit. And you can always share it with other family, friends, if you think it'll help them as well. So guys, I want you to think about your success and that vision that Emmanuel was talking about earlier as well, as a powerful ability to have foundational stuff around it that could include what we would look at as failure, but failure is not the opposite of success. Success can only be built on failures, and yet failures are not the opposite of success. Failure is the building blocks to permanent success in your mind and the manifestation of changed circumstances that lead to wealth and success. So if you're ready to learn, I want you to put a 555 in the chat group, so we're ready to go together. All right. Because it's powerful stuff that we're learning. Awesome. And I know it's going to help you as you think about your situations and where you're feeling. Maybe there's a failure, something is taking too long to go get there. That you can see a change in your circumstances when you embrace failure rather than react to it. Okay, so how many of you have failed along your success journey so far? I want you to put a yes, no, or IDK. Felix, welcome. Good to see you on as well. So, yes, no, or IDK if you failed along your success journey, and if you failed more times than you've succeeded. I want you to know that this is not abnormal. It's required. Okay, and it's part of the journey, and it's not the opposite of success. So one person has, what about the others? Failed in your success journey. Okay, so let's have a look. Awesome. And so the power of success. The power of success is transformative, impacting every area of life from self-confidence to financial stability. It fuels motivation and inspires others, creating a ripple effect that goes beyond personal achievement. Here's why it's so impactful. Yeah. Now, why am I talking about success? Because remember at the last screen I talked about failure moves to success. So I just want to talk about success for a few minutes, define it very quickly. And when you have success, it really motivates everyone, right? How many of you agree that when you're successful, everyone's excited around you, including yourself, right? When you feel like a failure, you don't feel so positive. And so here's the thing that happens when you're successful, and here's what we want to see the opposite way. Can we see the diagrams? Can everyone see my screen? Can someone just tell me if you can? Emmanuel, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, Marciana, it could be just a matter of you checking if you're on the computer. You might have just click another tab to see it, and maybe someone can help Marciana as well. Okay, others can see my screen. Great. So it's not me, but just maybe your laptop might need some help, or phone. Okay, so power of success, mindset shift. Okay, so when you have success, so we're talking about success, and I'm going to move to failure in a minute because I want to spend most of our time in failure today, but the good part of failure. Actually, going to the gym, we have to fail our muscles, don't we? For those who go to the gym to build more muscle. So it's like that. Success reinforces a growth mindset, encouraging continuous learning and resilience. Each achievement builds belief in one's ability to overcome challenges and achieve even more, right? And everyone loves that. Success brings increased opportunities. Okay, success often opens doors to the new possibilities, whether it's career advancement, business partnerships, or personal growth. It creates a platform for leveraging accomplishments to reach higher goals. Success also brings about financial freedom. I mean, how many of you want success? Like, everyone wants success, right? But are we willing to go through failures to get to success? With financial success comes greater freedom and choice, allowing for reinvestment in oneself and one's business or other ventures. This can also lead to improved quality of life and reduced stress. Okay, so when we're successful, we'll have reduced stress. But remember, I'm just walking through this very fast because I want to focus on something even more important, which is about the power of failure. Success inspires others. How many of you are inspired by people's success? When I shared with you when we were starting about the successes we went through, but no one wants to know about my failures. No one wants to know about the low ends before we have to get to the high ends, right? And then when you get to the high ends, you might go through low ends again, but your today's low is still higher than yesterday's low if you're in the right group of people. Okay, so I want you to remember what I said before. It's like a trend line for those who are studying crypto and forex with us. Okay, my low today, as long as it's higher than my previous low, then I'm trending upwards, because my next high is going to be much higher than my previous high. Makes sense? And then I'm on the right track. If my low is the same and I'm just feeling like I'm going around in circles, and it's the same low or worse, then I am going around in circles, and I have to change my tribe. I have to start flying with the eagles and stop clucking with the chickens. All right, as I like what Joseph said, and for those who watched the video, it's absolutely true. Stop being somebody else's lunch. All right, start flying high. Number 5, the power of success gives you personal fulfillment. Success provides a sense of purpose and fulfillment, fueling inner satisfaction, boosting self-esteem. This feeling of accomplishment can lead to greater overall happiness. And finally, number 6, success brings legacy building. Success is about more than individual achievements. It's about leaving a lasting impact. It allows you to create a legacy, whether through inspiring others or making a difference in the community or building a brand. So harnessing the power of success involves setting clear goals, taking consistent action, and maintaining a positive, determined mindset. Now, how many of you love this? All right, if you love and you can't wait to be successful, or you're already in success, or in your successes you've looked at it and gone, mindset shift, increased opportunities, financial freedom, inspiration to others, personal fulfillment, legacy building, yes. All right? But today I want to talk about what? Please put in the chat group, what are we talking about today? We're not talking about this stuff. This stuff's exciting, but we need to know the other stuff that no one talks about, because the other stuff is going to get us, the power of failure is the more important one. Okay, because the power of failure will lead you to even more success. Marciana, have you been able to see the screen? Hopefully you have, and if someone can let me know if you've helped her and she can, that'll be amazing. So yes, guys, please take a screenshot of this and post it in the chat group as well, so that it encourages others to know here's some stuff that the power of success does. It's amazing, it's exciting, it's elevating. All right, but now let's go through the power of failure. The power of failure lies in its ability to teach, which success cannot do. Do you know that success is a bad teacher? Failure is a better teacher. Success doesn't shape us, it amplifies how we have already been shaped. Success doesn't strengthen us, failure does. While it's often seen as a setback, failure is a crucial part of the journey to success, providing valuable lessons and insights that can't be gained from success alone. Here's what makes failure powerful and the lessons it imparts. You guys ready for that? I remember the time when, to me, it was a failure in not getting into university when I finished my year 12. Now, I was always an A-class student growing up. And when I came over to Australia, I was put two classes ahead of my age. And I was doing amazingly well until I got to my final year. And in my final year, I failed. Did not get into medicine. Yeah, imagine that. I wanted to be a doctor. Don't laugh. And did not get into medicine because for those who know me, I'm not a big fan of doctors and their medications and stuff like that and their treatments. I believe in divine health, and I've seen it operate better. But I'm not against any doctors in the house today. I love you guys all. Absolutely. And it was a big setback because I had to go and repeat year 12, and my year 11 colleagues were now my batchmates. And it was hard because I remember going to my mom and dad, and I was in tears. I didn't make it, and I was surprised by their gracefulness, because we come from a family that's academically very, very powerful and strong. And they said, "That's all right. Go repeat year 12." And I got into that, and it was a failure. But you know what? From that failure, I remember my computer science teacher, who I loved, and I loved the subject the most, came and showed me a course entry at the university that I hadn't put into my first round of offers for being a robotics engineer. And that course, for some reason, I had enough points because it was a new course and they had 10% bonuses, etc. So while I was in high school, university was starting in March. I'd started school in January, February. I heard about this. I went to the university and I asked if I could apply. They said, "No, it's full. We've had 400 people come in already." And I don't know why I kept persisting, because failure shapes you, teaches you, strengthens you, right? And I still remember going to see the head of the faculty. And I don't know how I got myself in there, because I was a very shy person, very introverted. I know people, again, don't believe it, but it is true. And thank God for my family that came with me. I still remember today walking into that gentleman's office, and I still remember his face till today. He was like really rough and upset, looked at my scores, looked at everything, and he said, "I don't know why I'm doing this." And he made some ticks, signed it off, and said, "Here you go. You're in." And I got into university, and I did a better course that I enjoyed better and loved better than I would have if I'd got into medicine. All right? So success doesn't shape us, doesn't teach us and strengthen us the way failure does. Failure is a crucial part of our journey, okay? And so we're going to learn some lessons to that. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success, all right? So number one, we're looking at 6 things in the power of failure. Number 1, building resilience. Failure, the power of failure, tests our perseverance and builds mental toughness. The experience of overcoming setbacks enhances resilience, making us more capable of handling future challenges. Learning to get back up after a fall is a critical skill. Each failure teaches us to adapt, persist, and try again with a new approach. How many of you agree with that? If you do, won't you put some chatter in the chat group to say yes, this makes sense. All right. And while you're doing that, we're going to do some little trivia here. How many of you know the example I'm going to bring up based on this? Anyone have an idea? What's the example I'm going to bring up? Pop it in the chat group if you know. All right. Let's see who's the first who's going to do that. Yeah, 100%. So true. Beautiful. Okay. So remember, the power of failure builds resistance. All right. So I want you guys to know, excellent, Disney. Walt Disney, did you know Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper early in his career because he lacked imagination and had no good ideas? How much of a failure was that? He also faced multiple business failures before creating Disney. Despite numerous setbacks, Disney's resilience led to the creation of one of the most iconic entertainment companies in history. His story shows that resilience is key to bouncing back and achieving success even when others doubt your potential. The net worth of Disney today, guys, 172.65 billion with a B, billion USD. Now, every one of us, at some point in our life, me continuously even till today, have enjoyed Disney, right? And do continue to enjoy what he has brought. Look at what would have happened. Imagine what would have happened if he hadn't built resilience in him. Remember, the power of failure builds resilience, okay? The one who falls and gets up is stronger than the one who never tried. Do not fear failure, but rather fear not trying. That's really important, guys. In this journey, as we get to October, I don't look at a calendar and say we're coming to the end of a year. I'm saying, hey, let's step up into a new season. Let's start to produce something that's going to make a huge difference. Number 2, the power of failure. Promoting self-reflection. Very important. That's why I said to you guys, this week and the next few weeks, let's continue to encourage one another to go for walks, go to the gym, do something that is kind to your physical body. Eat better, maybe cut off the sugars, whatever it is. Just find your thing that you're going to say, I'm going to make a small change in, and I'm going to do it regularly enough that's going to make a massive difference. Failures prompt us to evaluate what went wrong and why. You remember, when you're successful, do you ever stop and think what went wrong? No, you don't. All right. When you're a failure, let me change that. That is a wrong statement. I just caught myself on, and I have convicted myself, and I've smacked myself in the head 5 million times right now in my brain in the last millisecond. When you fail, because you're not a failure. Amen. All right. So when you fail, it is an opportunity for self-reflection. Evaluate what went wrong and why. You know, if you ever come to me and talk to me as a mentor, as a coach, also for those who I'm discipling as a pastor in our home church and around the world in our Project 61 work, when they say, well, I've messed up, I go, hey, let's talk about it. Why? No, I don't smack you around and go, how stupid are you? I go, hey, let's talk about this. What's going on? What's happening? Because what are the lessons we're learning? The self-reflection is key to personal growth as it helps identify areas for improvement and better strategies for the future. Hey, guess what? I joined the gym this is my 4th week, and we'd taken a break from our personal trainer for about 3 months, and then I joined the gym, and my goal was to hit that under 100 kilogram mark, because I could not get under that. And some people say I need some self, what's the word? I need some soul healing, because I think I'm just hitting that mark and I can't get under. So I go to the gym, I get started, I'm going 4 days, 5 days a week, I'm excited, I'm doing the work, and I've put on 2 more kilos. Now that looks like failure, right? Because those who come and see me, I'm just going hard, I'm enjoying it, I'm loving it. For the sake of accountability, I pop it on my social media every day saying, hey, I've done my workout, I've done my steps, I've done this, what is required, and I'm having a lot of fun, but I put on 2 kilos. But here's the thing. I got a chance to self-reflect, and I suddenly realized some of the clothes that weren't fitting me are suddenly fitting me. So what's happened? I'll leave that to you to answer in the chat group. Did I really fail? I failed my goal of getting under 100 kilos, but did I really fail? So what's the lesson in the power of failure in promoting self-reflection? It shows the importance of humility and a willingness to learn. Accepting responsibility for mistakes enables meaningful change and development. And I had to take responsibility for me focusing the wrong direction. Yeah, thank you. I was building muscle. All right. I got a six pack here and it's hidden and I'm not afraid to show it in summer. It's coming. Right. Yeah. Changed my shape. I've increased muscle. Right. But I was upset about the fact that I hadn't got the goal of my weight. Interesting, right? But through self-reflection, I had to change what I was thinking. That's why our mind is so powerful. All right, guys, if you don't know who this guy is, I feel sorry for you, right? If you haven't bought the technology and bought into the technology by now, I'm gonna have to change your mind. Yes, Joseph has just left the room. Others have turned off their cameras because they suddenly felt really condemned. No, kidding. Steve Jobs, guys, all right, power of failure. I'm just showing you some examples. Was fired from Apple. Did anyone know that? The company he co-founded. The failure forced him to reassess his approach to business and life. What were the lessons he learned? Jobs' period of reflection led to a renewed focus, resulting in the founding of companies like NEXT and Pixar. Now, you guys know that Disney bought Pixar, right? If you didn't know that, now you know it. And eventually he's returned to Apple. This teaches the importance of taking time to learn from failures and using that knowledge for future success. Now, I want you guys quickly put in the chat group, how much do you think Apple is worth today? And don't Google it, all right? I know some of you are too late, already Googling it, right? It is crazy, guys. Like, imagine if he hadn't done self-reflection. The power of self-reflection is amazing. It's exciting. So have you got a number in your head? Because some of you can't probably get to the computer in time, or type it in. Yes, Hyacinth, you are closer. Forget about billions, guys. 3.572 trillion with a T. Forget about millions, billions. We're talking about trillions. And here's a little bit of something interesting. He sold the Pixar side to Disney in 2006 for $7.4 billion. Again, guys, imagine if he had stopped at failure. Is this helping anyone? Okay, 2 out of 6. We got 4 more to go. All right. Hope it's helping you guys. Because I want you to remember, it's not about your success. Success is inevitable. If you can spell that, put it in the chat group. If you hang around a group like this, success is inevitable. Why? Because we're all flying like eagles. And we're all fully grounded on, like a lion, like a tribe. We're fully grounded. Once we know our vision, we get on the ground and we run. And we know what we're hunting for. And we're not hunting for grass. Okay, we're fixed, and we know where we're heading. So success is inevitable. Okay, good. We got one person who knows how to spell. What about others? All right, you can say success is IE if you want. All right, but failure is important to embrace while we go through success. Sometimes the best lightning, I love this quote, of all is a power failure. Who likes that? Right? Sometimes the best lightning of all is a power failure. Now, if one of these quotes gets up at you, do what Emmanuel's done, post it somewhere on your group. Like behind me, I've got the world map and I've got a single statement that reminds me all the time. It is the value of a soul that none should perish. Why is it important to me? Because I want to touch the whole world, 7 billion people, and I've got to remember to touch the whole world. I just got to touch one. Because no use touching the whole world if I can't touch the one next to me. And if I touch the one next to me and teach them the same principle as mine, then we're going to touch the whole world, right? And we're going to do it together, not by ourselves. Sometimes the best lightning of all is a power failure. Awesome. Number 3, revealing weaknesses and strengths. That's what the power of failure does. It reveals our weaknesses and our strengths. Very, very important. Failure exposes areas that need work while also highlighting hidden strengths. I want you guys to put in the chat group and a time when you failed, or you feel like you're failing, or you feel like a failure, even though you're not. Remember who you are and whose you are. What were the strengths that you realized you had during that time? Because it's easy for us to expose our weaknesses, but what were the strengths you felt you had during your failure? Because remember, when we have success, we don't assess our strengths and weaknesses. It's during failure that we do, not during success. So I want you to, here's a question. What are some of the strengths you realized you had through your failures? I was willing to have a go. I love that. Awesome. What about others? What are some of the strengths you began to realize I have in my failure. Pop it in the chat group. So it teaches the value of continuous improvement. Revealing our weaknesses and strengths through failure teaches the value of continuous improvement. Knowing where we fall short allows us to seek growth in those areas while maximizing the advantages we already possess. Love it. I was able to bounce back and move on. So that's a strength, resilience. What about others, guys? I want you to write this down. What is it? What's your strength that you feel you have when failure comes? And this is not just failure about money. This is anything in life, relationships, at work, career. What's the value, the strength you bring in that you realize you have? Can do better than I did previously. Love it. Yep. The can-do attitude. I love that scripture that says a righteous man can fall 7 times, yet will he rise again. It's not how many times we fall. It's in a boxing match, who is the winner? The one who rises the last. Last to rise is the winner. All right. What about others? Want to hear from you. And while I'm hearing from you, who's this guy? Who knows who this guy is? I think every one of us know him, right? He's MJ, and MJ's sitting here. I block failure out of my brain. I love that. Amazing. Guys, Michael Jordan, considered one of the greatest basketball players ever, was cut from his high school basketball team. This failure exposed his weaknesses in skills and fueled his drive to practice harder. Amazing, isn't it? What's the lesson he learned? Jordan used this failure as motivation, recognizing his need for the best. It showed how failure can help pinpoint areas to work on, while also uncovering an inner strength and commitment to improve. Amazing. I know I can do it. I just have to keep trying. Amazing, amazing, Hyacinth. Yep. What about others? What are your strengths you find when you are failing or have failed? And you might need to dig a little and think about that. Now, how many of you know that Michael Jordan's not just the best, world's greatest, the GOAT, as we say on basketball. He also is an amazing businessman, right? And an entrepreneur. His net worth is 3.2 billion USD. How many of you would like that? Awesome, right? Amazing. Guys, I want you to participate on this and look at this. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths that are being revealed to you during failure? Things like, are you coachable? All right, I know some of you here, you're coachable. During your failures, you're willing to learn, and you're willing to listen and put it into action. I know some of you here are resilient. Some of you here have the ability to shut out negativity and start to move towards positivity. Some of you have the belief, like I know with my wife, she always encourages me, because it's literally she and my mom. Whenever I talk about, it's too hard on this, I go, what are you talking about? Psst, let's just keep going. God has not brought us this far. And I love that. There is no failure in their minds. What an amazing thing to have two strong women in my home like that, right? The ability to not fail the same again. I love that. Lessons learned from last time. What do we say? Once bitten, twice shy. But most people don't want to try it again because they're shy. But instead, by saying what you've said, Hannah, even better, the ability to not fail the same way again. Failure should be our teacher, not our undertaker. Who likes this? It is delay, not defeat. It is a temporary detour, not a dead-end street. Okay? How many feeling that failure that you might be going through, have gone through, or may go through is really not that bad? How many of you feeling that right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, who's getting a bit excited? 10 more is like, I'm totally in on this failure stuff. One being, nah, still don't accept failure. Because I grew up in the culture I grew up in, the church system I grew up in, the Sri Lankan culture I grew up in, the Aussie culture I grew up in. We were told failure is not an option, right? But failure is what teaches us. Failure is not bad. In school we were taught if you fail, you feel bad, right? I'm telling you here, guys, as you're journeying here, some of you have been here since Jan, some of you just joined, some of you have been here since the July intake, and some of you have been here just today's your first time. I'm embracing your failure today with you and saying it's okay to fail. Why? Because it's on the road to success. It's not the opposite. Okay? It strengthens us, it brings us up, it gives us courage. Yeah, turn failure into positive learning turning point. So Sheila, a 9 out of 10, you're getting this about failure. You're getting excited about that failure is not a bad thing. What about others? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about failure right now? Because I'm sure it's different from what you thought it was. And I'll keep going as you're doing that. Number 4, encouraging. The power of failure encourages innovation and creativity. I love this. This is so exciting. And I can tell you that's what's happened to me. During what I felt was like some failing stuff that wasn't taking off the way I expected in a P61 work and in our investments that we're doing even as a family, I was like, why is this not taking off the way we're expecting, the way we're foreseeing, the way I was excited about? But in that, I got an opportunity to rebrand who I was with Capture Your Purpose. And you know what? I've been procrastinating on it for some time, and thanks to a few people who pushed me, including Hannah, I really love the fact that I could push forward, and all of a sudden in just weeks and hours, things are taking place. And thank you to ChatGPT as well. I'm seeing some new stuff coming in and some excitement that is happening so fast. And I'm going, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. All right, most of you are getting excited about this, which is great. So the power of failure encourages innovation and creativity. Facing failure often forces us to think outside the box to find alternative solutions. This can lead to breakthroughs and novel approaches that wouldn't have been discovered otherwise. How many of you agree with that? Like this year, the stuff that I have had approaches to could not have happened if I had not had some failures that happened over the last 2 years in certain areas of our investments. And it's exciting. Lesson: failure shows that there's more than one path to success. When one approach fails, it encourages creative problem solving and a willingness to take calculated risks. Now, I want to tell you something. Don't do it alone. It is okay. I mean, what I'm trying to enhance in this group, and I want to just get a participation from you guys to know that you understand this. It is okay to come and say, I failed, I feel like a failure, but never call yourself a failure. You can feel like one, but you aren't one. But you can share that. And you know that if you share that with any of the leaders here, if you share that with me, I'm not going to say, oh, you're so silly. Come on, let's step up and move forward. No, it's going to be like, hey, let's go for a fly. As an eagle ups, let's clear our heads and let's start a relook at your vision. Let's look at your purpose. What's the number one dream that you want to achieve in the next 12 months? How can we get there? How many of you tracking with me? Please put a 888 for new beginnings if you're tracking with me on this. And who knows this guy? Maybe the oldies do and the youngsters realize that, hey, the innovation of when you have to use a vacuum cleaner has been amazing because of this chap. His name is Dyson. James Dyson went through over 5,000 prototypes, 5,000 prototypes before creating the successful bagless vacuum cleaner. Each failed prototype led to improvements in the design. Can you imagine failing 5,000 times? And yet we would not have had the bagless. How many of you love the bagless? And if you say yes, then I know you're a cleaner. If you say no, then I know that you don't even clean your home. You give it up to someone else to do or pay someone. I can see those smiles and it's like, oopsie daisy. Cam, you have the bagless. I love the bagless. It's so good. In my rental properties, I get bagless as much as I can. Why? Because then it saves a lot of heartache as long as they clean up the filters. And I have to go and do that often. The process taught him to innovate continuously and embrace failure as a stepping stone to eventual breakthroughs. Dyson's net worth is $13.8 billion. Was it worth him failing that many times? Yes, not just for his net worth, but for our benefit too. Making sense? All right, great. Got a few people tracking here with us. All right, I want to see more tracking. And guys, let me tell you something. When you get on this hour, please try not to be distracted by other things. Okay? Again, for your benefit, not for mine. Why? Because as you focus, that's why we say turn on your cameras. Because as you turn on your camera, you're focused. You got your notepads. You're ready. You're feeling in a good place, because that good place is going to do some amazing things for you and for your bank account as well. Failure is hard, but turn those failures into learning experiences so that you look back and be happy that you failed. Wow. Because you gain more knowledge from that experience. Sometimes it's simply an indication to change your strategy instead of giving up completely. I'm happy that I didn't get through my year 12 the way I expected. Can you imagine me being a doctor, a medical doctor? How excited would you think I would be with the knowledge and experience I have now in understanding divine health and organic healing and speaking to your body and the power of your mind? Imagine how I'd be treating my patients, right? There wouldn't be any jabs, there wouldn't be anything. I'll be no antibiotics, nothing else. I'll be terrible, right? So I'm celebrating that failure because I look back on it and go, that failure led to success of being a robotics engineer for a few years, and then moving my career from there to numerous careers over the last few years until I retired 12 years ago. The power of failure, number 5, we've got 2 more to go. Enhancing appreciation for success is important because when you fail, you get more appreciative when you succeed. Who would agree with that? Okay. Experiencing failure can make the taste of success even sweeter. It builds a deeper appreciation for achievements, knowing the effort and struggle required to attain them. It emphasizes the importance of the journey, not just the destination. Right? Some of us went to an amazing place. Can you unmute so Joseph can tell us where we went yesterday? What was the name of the suburb, bro?
Puwong.
Say it again.
I was going to say Wong Pu, but it's Puwong.
We went to Puwong yesterday. If you came to Puwong with us, some of you online did, put a 1 in the chat group, or you could put a Pu in the chat group. It's called Puwong. Amazing place. We went to a farm, 500 acres of amazing farmland. Thanks to Joseph's friend that we got to know, and his family, got to meet his family. I've just forgotten why I'm talking about it. Because I'm thinking of Puwong. I'm thinking of all the cows I saw. Anyway, we were celebrating and we were appreciating what we saw, and I realized just an hour away from my home. I mean, I travel overseas, and I travel for thousands of kilometers away to see amazing places, and an hour away from home, I got to see this amazing place. Right? Who else enjoyed it? Right? And it might sound like a funny name, but it had amazing place that so we were about to get ready to go, and I now remember why I was saying about this. A few of us were getting a little bit stressed out about the time because we were not getting there on time, and so I stopped and I went, "Hey guys, just enjoy the journey." Because at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do. How many of you know you can't cry over spilt milk, right? My mom used to always say that. I never understood it until I realized, oh, the milk spilled. I can't put it back in the bottle. It's done. What's the lesson I learned from this, and what can I do forward? And I think, Joseph, when you were kind of feeling like, oh, they're going to be upset and all of that, right? And I said, hang on, we've done what we can. There's nothing else we can do. And we're just going to go and enjoy. Now, were they upset? They were excited. They wouldn't let us go. They were so happy. We got to drink fresh milk, guys. I mean, amazing. And Gertrude brought some home as well. Geta, did you like your fresh milk? She wouldn't share it with me. So if anyone wants fresh milk, please come home. I'll try and find the stash because she got a whole bottle full, and she just enjoyed it yesterday with her coffee late at night. Right? But you got to enjoy the journey. That's what I was wanting to get at. Success is not about the destination, it's about the journey. How many of you know this guy? I love Heavenly. She's sitting sitting here as I was preparing today, looking at my computer, going, "Dad, is that Messi or is that?" And she gave me some other names. I'm like, "How do you know this guy?" And she goes, "Well, he's known as the GOAT." And I'm like, "Really?" All right. Lionel Messi, one of the greatest soccer players of all time, experienced numerous disappointments in international tournaments with Argentina. Did you know that? Okay, he lost 3 consecutive finals: 2014 World Cup, 2015 Copa America, and 2016 Copa America. Wow. Before finally winning the 2021 Copa America. I mean, you're talking about 7 years. Failures until finally, after 7 years, having a success. The lesson he learned: these setbacks made his eventual victory even more meaningful, and not just for him, but for his entire nation. So there was that appreciation because of the setbacks. Make sense, guys? It showed that persistence and continued effort can eventually lead to triumph, and that the journey's hardships make success sweeter. His personal net worth, 850 million. His salary per year, 75 million. How many of you would like to be friends with Hyacinth, because he wants to be the best soccer player in the world. So you can understand how much he might be earning, right? So I'm so glad I'm his dad. Hyacinth, remember me? All right. 75 million a year salary. Can you even contemplate that? Can you even imagine that? Okay. That's powerful. You may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeat so you can know who you are and what you can rise from, how you can still come out of it. Let's do it. Let's do this. All right, finally, number 6, the power of failure. Okay. Building empathy and connection with others. This is really important. Those who have faced failure often develop greater empathy towards others facing difficulties. This can strengthen relationships and foster a supportive network. I remember when I went through my separation and divorce, never expected it to happen after 5 beautiful children, and just feeling like my life was absolutely I was feeling like a failure. Terrible, failed husband, failed father, failed everything. Had to shut down all my businesses, went into depression. It was not a nice thing, and I was against depression. I always used to say that depression doesn't even exist except in your mind. Then I went through it, and I went through a failed marriage. How empathetic am I today to some of you guys who know me and walk? Imagine if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be so empathetic. The lesson of failure that builds empathy and connection with us is it teaches us that everyone struggles at some point, and sharing stories of failure can inspire others, showing that setbacks are common and can be overcome. I remember going to Uganda and there was a pastor there that I shared about my separation and the current divorce I was going through, and I even shared it on stage while I was to hundreds of people, just to let them know I can connect with them. It was not about how successful I was, it was in the failures where the success came. And I remember him coming afterwards and said, "You are such a brave man to share such things. Here we don't share such things because no one will want to walk with us again." And I said, "Hey, I understand. I got kicked out of churches for going through a divorce, and it wasn't something that I chose to do, but it's a journey that I had to take, right?" And so I want to share with you that empathy and connection with others is much more important, leads to success, than being successful while stepping on everyone else. If you agree with me, put a 111 in the chat group and say, "Hey, I get this. It's a number 1." And who knows this beautiful woman? Amazing, powerful woman that has really changed people's lives in her journey. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first television job as a news anchor. Can you imagine that? This is like the topmost TV presenter, and she was fired from her first job and told that she was unfit for TV. How amazing. This failure allowed her to empathize with others facing setbacks. Oprah's personal experience with failure helped her connect with her audience on a deeper level in her later career. She often discusses overcoming struggles, inspiring others, and showing them that failure is not the end, but a new beginning. In 2013, Oprah Winfrey was awarded the Medal of Freedom, amazing, by President Obama, the nation's highest civilian honor. What a blessing. What a blessing. Okay, that is such an encouragement. Her net worth is $3 billion. So in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. I love this statement. That's a powerful statement. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Who thinks that's awesome? So these examples illustrate how individuals turn their failures into powerful opportunities for growth, innovation, and success. And hopefully through this, guys, I know I've put some celebrities up there because we recognize them, and some companies that have grown really big, but hopefully that connection of knowing that they went through failures to get to their successes will encourage you as well, and encourage me as well in this journey that we have. The lessons learned from each experience highlight the importance of resilience, self-reflection, embracing weaknesses, and finding new paths to achievement. The beginning of this year, I remember that we were praying as we spoke into the new year, and I remember this. And then at that time we didn't know what we were going to go through in 2024, but I remember this sense of what God was saying, and that was that there are going to be challenges this year, and every challenge will give us an opportunity for harvest. So you can take a challenge and run away from it, or run with it, and it'll produce, and look for the opportunities where it's going to produce amazing harvest. Awesome, guys. I'm just going to stop the sharing, and I want to just encourage you that failure is such an important aspect of who we are in our journey. And it's part of the journey. It's not like I either fail or succeed, that's it. No, it's like on my way to success is failure. Okay, and I want to just open this up to everyone to give them an opportunity to say, hey, what have you learned? What's one thing you've picked up? I don't want you to learn. I don't want you to have remembered all 6 things and everything I've shared today. But if you remember one thing that stood out to you, or something that helps you along the journey, then, like I said, success is inevitable. It has